For the longest time, when we thought about luxury homes, it was all about, exotic marble, rare woods, just sheer size. But today, the biggest shift in high-end design isn't really about what a house is made of. It's about how it makes you feel. And that is a whole new philosophy of space.
And this quote, wow, it just nails it. The goal isn't just to build an impressive structure anymore, it's to create a seamless sanctuary. It's this idea of completely erasing the line between your living room and the world outside so it all becomes one single immersive experience.
So, let's dive into that. Think about it. The old idea of a home was kind of like a fortress, right? A box designed to keep the world out. But this new philosophy completely flips that on its head. It's about creating a home where the house and nature are totally integrated, a house that actually breathes.
Now, the official term for all this is indoor-outdoor flow, and it's exactly what it sounds like, a design philosophy where you intentionally blur those boundaries between inside and out. This is the core idea we're going to break down. How do architects and builders make solid walls feel like they like they don't even exist?
Okay, now for the really fun part. How in the world do they actually pull this off? I mean, it's one thing to talk about a wall of glass, but it's a whole other challenge to build it so it works perfectly day in and day out. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the engineering, the architectural magic tricks that make this all possible.
So check this out. This is the magic behind a lift and slide door. And honestly, it's a marvel of precision engineering. When you turn that handle, you're not just unlatching it, you're actually engaging a mechanism that lifts the entire massive glass panel up onto rollers. That's why a 300-pound wall of glass suddenly moves with just the push of a finger. And then, when you turn the handle back, the panel drops down, creating this perfect, airtight, weatherproof seal. It is just pure mechanical elegance.
Another absolutely crucial detail is what we call the zero threshold. You know that little bump you always have to step over with a standard patio door, that trip hazard? Well, this gets rid of it completely. As you can see, the track for the door is literally buried down in the home's foundation. This makes the floor inside perfectly level with the patio outside. The visual line is totally unbroken. That's how you get a truly seamless transition. But creating this flow is also a trick of the eye. See, if your indoor flooring is different from your outdoor patio, your brain automatically sees a boundary. But by using the same materials inside and out, like carrying the same tile from the living room to the patio or running the same wood ceiling from inside straight to the porch overhang, you create this incredible mirror effect. It tricks your brain into seeing one giant continuous space, and it can make a room feel twice as big as it actually is.
All right, let's talk about sightlines. This is a big one. The whole goal is that when you walk in the front door, your eyes should just flow, uninterrupted, straight through the house to the beautiful view beyond. And the ultimate expression of this? A cornerless glass system. Now this takes some serious structural engineering. We're talking massive steel beams hidden in the ceiling so that the glass doors can meet at a perfect 90-degree angle with no post, no support, nothing. You open them up and the entire corner of the house just vanishes.
Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. All this openness is beautiful, but it brings up a really practical question, right? Especially in a place like Tennessee that gets all 4 seasons. How do you live with no walls when you've got blazing hot summers, cold winters, bugs, and rain? Well, the answer is technology.
And the solutions are pretty brilliant. To deal with the sun and rain, you have motorized louvered pergolas that can tilt for the perfect amount of shade or close completely to keep you dry. Pesky bugs? With the push of a button, motorized screens can descend right out of the ceiling. And for the cold, you install infrared heaters in the porch ceiling. These are amazing. They warm people and furniture directly, not just the air, so you can be sitting out there totally cozy even when it's snowing.
This all sounds incredible, I know, but you're probably wondering about the real-world stuff. So let's just tackle the questions that are probably on your mind right now. We're going to hit the 3 big ones: value, privacy, and of course, cost.
First up, the big one for any homeowner. Is this a good investment? Does this whole open design philosophy actually increase your home's value in the long run? And the answer is a definitive yes. Absolutely, especially in markets where people are moving specifically for the natural beauty. A home that celebrates the landscape, that brings it inside, is always going to command a premium price. You're not just selling a house at that point, you're selling a lifestyle, an experience. This is a totally understandable concern. I mean, if you've got a 30-foot wall of glass, how do you keep from feeling like you're living in a fishbowl? This is where modern design gets really clever. Instead of just putting up a giant fence that blocks your own view, architects use layered landscaping. So think about it, using trees and shrubs at different heights and distances to create a natural screen that you can see out of, but people can't easily see into. And for the ultimate control, there's smart glass that can go from perfectly clear to totally frosted with just the flip of a switch.
And finally, let's talk about the practical matter of your utility bills. With all that glass, it's totally fair to worry that your heating and cooling costs are going to go right through the roof.
Well, modern glass technology is just incredible. We use something called low-E glass, which has this microscopic invisible coating that basically acts like a heat mirror. So in the summer, it reflects the sun's heat out, and in the winter, it reflects your furnace's heat back in. This one simple concept can slash energy loss through your windows by up to 50%. That has a huge impact on your bills.
So, we've covered the how, all the engineering and design tricks. But now let's talk about the why, because there's a deeper, scientific reason these homes are so incredibly appealing. This isn't just about looking good, it's about human wellness.
The whole concept is called biophilia, and it's this idea that as humans, we are literally hardwired to seek a connection with nature. So when a home is filled with natural light, fresh air, and constant views of the outdoors, it satisfies this deep, fundamental need. And studies have actually shown it can lower stress and even help you sleep better.
And the best architects are now designing this in from the start. They create what you could call sensory bridges, like putting a small water feature right outside an opening, so the sound of trickling water just flows into the room. Or they'll install a living plant wall inside that perfectly mirrors the garden outside. It's about engaging all of your senses to make the home feel truly alive.
So, we've seen how incredible design can literally make walls disappear, creating homes that aren't just more beautiful, but are more functional and even healthier for us. But here's the key takeaway I want to leave you with. That effortless result is born from unbelievable technical precision. The difference between a dream home and a total disaster is in those tiny details, the drainage, the hidden structural beams, the floor levels. So as you think about this for any project, big or small, the real question isn't just, can we remove the wall? It's, have we asked all the right questions to make sure it's done perfectly?